Welcome to the Mami Collective. I'm Paulina Roe, radio host, TV contributor, writer, and mom of one. This is where ambitious moms come to keep their identity intact while navigating motherhood. Here we talk about the real stuff: career, money, relationships, identity, and everything that gets messy in between. You won't find sugarcoating or cliches. What you will find are unfiltered conversations, real resources, and proof that you don't have to lose yourself to be a good mom. The Mami Collective is here to remind you can be ambitious, you can take up space, and you can thrive in motherhood and in everything else that makes you, you. Before we get into the episode, make sure you're following the Mami Collective on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and share this podcast with a mommy in your life who needs a little inspiration or just a reminder that she's killing it. Also, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter and leave us a review so we can keep showing up and reach every ambitious mom out there doing big things. Let's get into it. All right, Mami Collective, we are back another episode. I am so excited for my guest today. I have Francesca herself, or you may know her as Francesca's Nest on the gram. How are you today?
I'm good. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I can't complain. It's a new month. We're recording this in early February, so
which is
my
wild.
favorite month. I know. Isn't that crazy? It's like, how?
Yeah.
But then I feel like January kind of took forever, but now that it's
oh
gone,
my gosh.
Right? I'm like,
I was like, how are we still in January? And then usually February goes fast. You live in the Midwest too, right? So like the winters just drag. And so we're getting closer to spring. I just keep thinking about that. I'm like, we're almost there.
Yes, no, 100%. And you are also Midwest, right? Michigan?
Yeah. So I'm in Michigan, but I'm at my parents'. They snowbird. They're so lucky. So I'm in Florida. I leave tomorrow. Yeah, but it was... Yeah, but I had to hear everyone here complain about how cold it is. And I was like, no, like, you guys don't understand. In Michigan, it was like negative, snowstorms.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Oh, how nice, though. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on and making the time. So
Absolutely.
I know that you are a mom of two, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, which is a full-time job in itself. So
yes,
that's a lot going on.
Yes.
But I love it. And your page is always so fun and active, and you're very transparent about your like journey of, when it comes to wellness, mental health. You shared also with me too that you are now you were a pharmacist, so you're full-time corporate baddie working mom.
Yeah.
And we transitioned to full-time concentrate. I love it.
Terrifying, scary, but it's been 7 months now, and it's been by far the best decision. So
I love that.
It was scary.
What kind of pushed you to make that jump? Because I know a lot of times we go back and forth,
Yeah. So I know it's hard for people to understand that content creation is a job and how much work it takes. It's not hard work, but it's so time consuming. And what was happening was I wake up really early anyways to exercise, but I was waking up even extra early to record content, edit, because I was working with brands. And after a certain point, it just became, there was no way I could keep doing it anymore. So after discussions with my husband and my family, it ended up being like, what is best for our family at this time? And I'll always have my pharmacist degree. I did a residency training. So, I worked as a pharmacist for over 6 years. And if I want to go back, then I can. But right now, the flexibility of being able to do content creation full time is just what feels right for my family. But it was a very, very, very scary decision. I had put in my 2-week notice and my whole body was in full blown hives. And I was very felt sick over the decision. But then after I got used to it and everything, I am so grateful that I had the courage to do that. So.
That's incredible. You really bet on yourself with that one, and I love it.
Yeah.
But you said it too. I always have my degree to fall back on, or the job, right, of being a pharmacist. You're I can go back to that, and I love it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that also kind of had to play an influence on the content that you've created.
Yeah. So when I would say my first reels that were really getting traction were my working mom vlogs, and then also my exercise vlogs too. So it was both. And I really loved sharing both because I felt like there wasn't enough working moms out there saying that you can balance it all. It's not perfect, but you can still take care of yourself. And things were good. I was able to balance waking up early, feeding myself and my family healthy meals, all of that. It was adding the content creation part on top of it. I was working 2 full-time jobs. So then it wasn't feasible anymore. I couldn't live that way. But I just really wanted to share, the working mom aspect and the the wellness aspect and my struggles with mental health and all of that. So yeah, that's how everything kind of started up.
I love it. It honestly is you are the definition of Mami Collective. Because when I created the space, I was like, I want to create a space for, I mean, it definitely has expanded, but like when I started, I was like, well, I'm a working mom and like, please don't hate me. I went back to work after 6 weeks. I kind of chose that though.
I get it.
I mentally was like, I love this little life and my home and this is wonderful. But I was like, I also knew it was best for me. So I'm a big advocate for that. You know, I was like,
I totally get it.
I was ready in a way. And plus, like, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have the same thing where it's like being a pharmacist, if it's like certain hours or certain days. Like mine wasn't a typical 9 to 5. So I could handle it. You feel me? I was like, I can kind of do that. So that's kind of what I did. But I created this space because I was like, well, what happens in motherhood? And this is before I became a mom. I've seen friends, family, strangers online. I've seen the loss of identity, right? And that to me, that means more than just like my identity of like, oh, you know, I'm not wearing this like hot dress anymore. It's not even about that. It's like so much more complex. And I was like, people aren't just, we're not the same when we become mothers. It's just the truth, right? So I was like, how do we kind of keep parts of ourselves, or maybe they're not even the same us, but how do we nurture us financially, right? With wellness, mental health, all of it.
Yeah. And I think I loved, and I still consider myself a working mom because I put in the same, if not more hours than my corporate job. I have a management company and everything, but like, I loved and was so proud to be a working mom. And if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't have left. And I think that's kind of like, that was one of the harder parts about leaving was like, was the identity part, because I am still very goal oriented and career focused and very driven, but it's not in a traditional sense anymore. And I was like the same as you, like I was like, yes, can't wait to go back to work. Like this is a huge part of my identity. And so, yeah, I can totally relate to that. I can totally relate.
I love it. And when I found your page and everything, I was like, I have to talk to her because I feel like she gets it. So that made me really happy that you were able to come on and do that. So I kind of want to dive into the wellness part of who you are and like even just the content you made. I think the other day you posted something about, I was like kind of your weight loss journey perhaps maybe, but you showed me your treadmill in the gym, in the garage. And I was like, whoa, is that my house? Because I have one in my garage. Ask me how many times I've used it. Literally once. And with that being said, I'm like, well, how does like Francesca or how do other moms really get the motivation and also just get the, I don't know, the willpower to prioritize this? Because I'm going to be full transparent and I've accepted it. I'm working on it. So there are moves being made, but like, I'm not really like happy in my body. I mean, I know all moms at one point hit that. That's very common. And you're very transparent about that too. So like for me, I'll use me as an example. Like I have a weight loss goal right now. It is 40 pounds, right? And I'm like, I know who I was even before baby, like everything, right? As far as body. And I'm taking the steps, right? We're eating much healthier. I just got blood work done. I am going back. I tried it like once and I stopped because I couldn't do it, but I am going back on the Mounjaro. So I'm just getting a little head start. Like, I need something. Like we need the help. So my question though is when it comes to like the wellness part of your journey, when did wellness sort of shift from being like, oh, this is nice to have and do to being like a non-negotiable for you?
Sure. So I've talked about it a little bit on my page, but my first daughter, my 4-year-old, was extremely colicky. And she was like colicky where you could not sit still with her. Like you had to always be moving. So I would put her in a carrier and I would bounce with her, or we would walk and walk and walk. And I gained like over 70 pounds my first pregnancy and then gained 70 pounds my second one, or a little less, but regardless, a lot of weight. And I was also really struggling after my first pregnancy because I had a colicky baby. It was like my first experience. And I was just like, why do people continue to have kids? Like she wasn't sleeping right. But I realized, and I quickly realized that moving my body made me feel the best. So I had to like switch my mindset, right? Like I could be miserable that I have this child where I have to always be moving and bouncing and walking and walking and walking. Or I could think of it as like, oh, okay, I get to move my body. I'm privileged. I'm grateful. Like I really had to switch my mindset. So that's when a lot of the wellness as a mom started. And then I was having like milk supply issues. So then I was doing a lot of research on what foods to eat. So I was really focused on my nutrition, and my supply went up. But then I was also losing weight. And so I was like, okay, everyone's different, of course. But for me, I found what worked, and it made me feel good. But ultimately, as my postpartum continued on, I wasn't able to manage it fully with the diet and the exercise. So I did end up going onto like an SSRI for my postpartum anxiety, which was recommended by my doctor. Mm-hmm. But that's when I really used exercise and nutrition as a tool. It wasn't to like be a certain size or to lose weight. And so then I really learned to love it. And that continued on. Now it's been like 4 years.
Nice.
And for me, exercise helps me manage my anxiety. It helps me manage my moods and how I feel. And so even if I were to gain 20 pounds tomorrow, 30, 40 pounds, like I'm still going to continue to exercise the way that I am because this is what makes me feel good mentally. We have to find a reason to take care of ourselves besides the way that we look as moms, because you can there has to be more of a reason, because the way we look isn't everything. I mean, it's just like, it's such a small part of us, right? So If you're only doing it for the outside reasons, you're going to burn out so quickly. So I talk a lot on my page of like, I will just walk and watch a TV show or do things that I can't do when my kids are around. Cause like they always want to watch their TV or they need me. And so I've learned to like really appreciate that time alone. And so for me, it's really early in the morning. Some people it's late at night. Some people it's on their lunch break, whatever. But I love to sip my hot coffee, watch a good TV show, respond to text messages, edit, whatever I can do. And so I look forward to it. But you have to find your purpose beyond how much you weigh or fitting into a certain jean size.
I think that's so valid. And you kind of even helped me reframe a little bit of my thinking just based on that. No, that's like very, very, very true. And then what about for you? Like, I'm curious, what does like a random, I mean, I know you post most of this on social media, but I would love the exclusive. What's like the random Tuesday wellness day at your house? Like, what does that look like in terms of eating, working out? Like, how does Francesca sort of manage all that?
Yeah. So I wake up really early. I wake up at 4:30-ish. And I'm either walking on my treadmill or I'm going to the gym. I do have a gym in my house. I did a really wonderful collaboration. I have all the equipment at my house, but I need to get out of the house, especially now that I'm home and I'm not working out of the home, to see my trainer, socialize with other moms. There's other moms that are there with me. And so that, again, a reason outside of the way that I look. I want to go socialize. It makes me a better mom. Or I'm walking early in the morning. And then throughout the day, I'm focused on eating high protein. So each meal has to be balanced. And I mean balanced, like has to have some sort of protein, some sort of fat, some carbs, right? But it needs to be whole foods, things that will give me energy to push through the day, because you know how exhausting it is with kids. So 100%. Again, I look at food as not just to make me look a certain way, but how is it going to give me energy to like chase after my kids and sometimes have the patience to deal with them instead of being hangry, crashing, binging. So that's how I look at anything wellness related throughout the day.
You've mentioned anxiety, and I'm curious, like, what did it look like for you, and like what kind of helped you recognize like that's what it was?
Yeah, so at first it was like not really wanting to be around people, which is not like me. Like I didn't really want like me and my baby at the time around people. I was getting worried about things that I'd never really worried about before, like my child getting sick, but like overly. I wanted to really just be alone, and I'm not an introvert. So, but then as it went on, what was happening was I would feel very panicky, like at a supermarket with my child, in line at a grocery store, in line at, like, I remember in Sephora. I had this like irrational fear that something was going to happen to me. I was going to pass out or something, and then my child was going to be alone. Or I was breastfeeding and I pumped for a very long time. And I had this fear of like, what if I get in this car accident and then my child doesn't have milk? Like these irrational, this was on my way to my hospital shifts, just these irrational fears. And it was a lot of panic and a lot of anxiety. I wasn't like laying around, and I wasn't like, no one would ever know anything was wrong. Let's put it that way. But then it just started to not get better. And I would say at about the year mark, my doctor, like my blood pressure was high. I was anxious. She was just like, is everything okay? And then that's when I just shared everything with her. And she's like, let's try an SSRI, anti-anxiety medication, antidepressant, and started a really low dose. And it changed everything. I always say, though, it just takes the edge off. I think a lot of people are worried that anti-anxiety medication, antidepressants are going to change you. They don't. They just take the edge off so you can think more rationally. So do I sometimes still get those panicky, sensed feelings? Yes, but I can change it. I can switch it off. It doesn't control my life anymore. I can still take my daughters to the grocery store. I can still live my life. And I lived like that for a long time, for almost a year. And I'm really grateful that I had the courage just to be like, I don't want to live like this anymore. Because you don't realize like how good it can be.
Yes.
If you do something about it. And some people are like, well, you could just like, people will say like, oh, well, diet and exercise can help. Well, only so much, right? Like there was only so much that we can do. But if there is some sort of like chemical imbalance, then there's nothing wrong with needing help.
So. 100% agree. Thank you for sharing that, first of all.
Yeah.
But also, like, that is so true. I've been going back and forth with that, too, because I do feel like my anxiety has just been bad since I can remember. And sometimes I'm like, am I anxious or am I just this or that? And then I also have ADD, so that's not great. So I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, the way my brain works.
Yeah, I think if it's interfering with your daily life and it's interfering with you being a mother, I don't think there's anything wrong with even just having like conversations with your doctor. They're not going to say like, you need to start this, right? And I know some moms are scared that like maybe they'll be like admitted into like maybe some sort of hospital. No, it's more just opening that door and to having that conversation and finding a doctor who you feel comfortable with too.
100%. Oh, thank you for like sharing your story and again for breaking the stigma around that, because that is so important, especially like you said, for mothers. We're already like there's already what's going on in our brains, anxiety, depression, everything creeps up on you, and it happens.
And there's so many, and so when moms are saying, "Oh my gosh, like I didn't know other people felt the same way," I want to be like, if only I could show you my DMs flooded, hundreds of moms saying they have felt or feel the same way. And some have found other ways to take care of it, and some are still trying to figure it out. So it's like, I know, and I'm so confident in talking about it now because I see like so many other people feel the same exact way, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's only, I always say, the people that judge are the ones that should be ashamed. If someone's gonna judge you for wanting to take care of yourself, that's a them problem. That I always say it has nothing to do with you. So.
I 100% agree. 100. Because I always say that too. Like if you have something going on, whether it's like with your body, right? Or let's just say, I don't know. I have a headache. Like I'm going to pop a Tylenol. Like that's just what I'm going to do. Right. And I know not the same thing. I'm very aware, but I'm also like, well, what's going to help me in this situation? And I think too, like with doctors, like, they're doctors and you're pharmacists. You absolutely know firsthand, like they'll adjust the meds if there's something not right. Or, you know what I mean? Like that'll be handled.
Exactly.
I think that's so important. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Sorry, I'm an advocate for anything mental health, so I'm just like, yes.
Me too. If I could scream it from the rooftop at all times, I would, you know. And I think when I first meet like a postpartum mom, or if there's a postpartum mom that I'm like, or like a mom that I'm friends with, who's especially their first child, I'm just like, are you okay? Like, are you really okay? Like, you can tell me, I won't tell anybody. Like, I'm more so like, if I go visit them, I like don't really care to hold the baby. I'm just like, so how are you? Like, honestly, tell me how you're doing, you know? And then they'll open up, and then I'm always open to tell people like, you know, my story as well. So
100%. Oh, I love it. So you mentioned like, you're like, I hear from women in my DMs and people will comment and they relate to a lot of the stories that you share and things that you post. What do you feel like has been, if you can recall, one of your most memorable messages or connections with someone just based on something you posted or shared?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's mostly just, I get these DMs from women just saying, I've been following you, like I've had my account for like a year and a few months, and they're just like, I've been following you for a year now, or maybe 6 months. And you've really taught me how to enjoy movement, how to enjoy eating healthy, and that it doesn't have to be perfect. And really, I've noticed such a difference in my relationship with my husband, my kids. I'm just happier. You know, I don't dread taking care of myself. So you know, that really makes me feel good, because when I hear moms, especially when you're a mom, like, you do not know how to take care of yourself. You do not know how to balance it at all. I didn't at all. And so I think it's important to watch other women give like a realistic idea of, I mean, you don't have to do everything that I do, but that it's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay.
100%.
You need to, or else you're going to be so resentful towards everyone around you. And that just doesn't help anybody. So
I feel like your advice also gives, and please, you know, whoever's listening to, like, take what you like and leave what you don't. But I feel like your advice is really, really resonating with our audience, because majority are moms. And also I just feel like you are giving them almost a recipe to enjoy motherhood. And I think a lot of times, I don't know if you don't mind sharing how, like, if you can remember how you were raised with like your mom or your grandma. I look back at my mom and I'm like, I feel like guilt sometimes, but I'm like, I feel like I have a different motherhood experience for a couple of reasons. But I think one of them being like, I'm taking care of myself. Like, I prioritize myself. And my child, of course, number one, hello. But I also matter. Yeah. You know?
So my mom, she still is like a stay-at-home mom, and she put everything into us. She always ate healthy and she exercised and stuff. But it was always like, it was just always about us. And I think it's just different though. Like, I don't know, I feel like if I didn't have social media, I would feel really guilty about taking care of myself. I think life is a lot different, because I see other moms take care of themselves and I'm like, oh, see, I should too. But so my mom just poured everything into us, and I'm so grateful for that. Like, sometimes it makes like, I'm just like, how did you do it all right? So especially when I was working full time, I was like, oh my, we're so different. But you know, but she's so proud that I take care of myself, and she's always so supportive of that. But I just think it was different then. Women we're not talking about mental health back then. I mean,
no, they were talking different about it. No. And now obviously you said we have social media, so it's like so much easier to like just like talk about your views and obviously share like tips and tricks, advice, anything, like having a good day, having a bad day. Yeah. But you're right, like our parents didn't. Sometimes I'm really curious if our moms were around like for social media in this era. I wonder how they would have navigated it. I'm so curious all the time.
Well, that's why I'm like interested to see like what we're going to be like when we're our parents' age, and like what our kids are going to be like having social media. And there's a lot of great aspects of social media. Absolutely. It makes me feel a lot less alone, but there's also negative sides. So it's just like, what is the future? What's the future going to be?
Yeah, like 100%. So speaking of social media, I definitely want to kind of dive into your craft essentially, but also I love that you were a corporate baddie mom, right? Pharmacist, turned full-time content creator. So I definitely have to know. I mean, we kind of figured out what the leap looked like, because I definitely can't picture that being easy. And you were mentioning that earlier.
It was so scary.
I know. I'm sure there's no way,
because I loved my job. Like, I loved my job. I was not miserable. Loved my manager. If she's listening to this, Liz, I love you. Like, that was and I had a wonderful partner. I worked in a team, and I worked for a wonderful company. Like, nothing was wrong to leave that. I was like, what am I doing? But I knew that I had to. And again, it's been such an amazing decision. But really
I'm so proud of you. No, it's not easy. It's not easy. What do you feel like, if you were to share, like, what are the toughest parts, do you feel, of full-time content creating for you personally? What do you find challenging sometimes?
Number one would definitely be you never get to turn it off. So I'm always thinking content ideas, and I'm like constantly jotting them in my phone. Like, I never can. You have to, like, this is my job now. So it's like, I'm always thinking of ideas, things will click in my head. But so what makes that hard is you also need to be present with your kids. And it's really hard when it really is a 24/7 job. Once your account starts making money, and I work with brands, right? There's like the more like organic content, and then there's like the branded content, right? And so it's like trying to find a good mix of that and making sure you're only working with brands that you really align with. And it's just, but it's constant. It's constant. So one would be not being able to shut it off. Two, at the beginning, especially once you get like those viral videos, the hate. I mean, the hate on so many aspects of your life, because I vlog and I share a lot of my life. I also don't share a lot, but
what are we reading about though when it comes to like taking care of ourselves? What?
Oh gosh. Well, okay. So when I was a full-time working mom, I got a lot of hate about my kids having childcare. Like so much hate. Like I cannot, but I was like so proud. Like those didn't even bother me, but it was like they would just say horrible things.
That's awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but,
no.
Oh yeah.
And I bet you there are other moms majority, which kills me. I'm like, ladies.
But oh yeah, it was other women. But then I left my corporate job and then got so much hate from corporate moms about then that's when I was like, oh, like I'll never be able to win. I also got a lot of hate of just saying my life isn't realistic, you know, whatever. Like just, and then, or like, you know, well, your husband helps you so much. Okay, well, yeah. Like,
well, I'm married. Like, you better help.
Yeah, like,
that's how I feel.
Or mom, this one, not one time, I got it a lot of times, like someone saying like, yeah, would love to see what it's like if you were a single mom. And so like, I had one of my followers be like, yeah, Francesca, just divorce your husband so everyone can see what it's like, you know? It's constantly like, a lot of comments are, well, if your life was like A, B, C, and D, yeah, it wouldn't be like that. Or, you know, and it's always like projecting their life onto mine. Yeah, but at the beginning, it was hard. I mean, when you're reading just hate comments, it's part of the game though. Like now I'm so used to it, it doesn't affect me anymore. But yeah, and then also number 3 would be like, say you're going through any sort of big life change, you feel like hundreds of thousands of people are watching you. Mm-hmm. So leaving my corporate job, I waited about a couple weeks to announce it because I was going through a lot. Like it was mentally I was just, and then you get hate comments about it. It's like, it's part of the game though. So that is by far, you have to have thick skin when it comes to, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way. Like you have to. It is not worth it. If you cannot stay mentally sane by reading the most hateful, mean things about, like, it's not worth it. So it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm either going to continue doing this or like we're done. I can't live like this. It's not.
Yeah, no, I 100% get that. Like you said, you can never win, which you actually just gave me, speaking of content, you gave me a content idea. I'm like going to take my pen and write it down about what I want to make. You never can win. And I've learned that being a mom, I was like, whoa, even before that, I was like, so as a woman, you can never win. And I'm like, now as a mom, no matter what I do, I can join the fucking circus tomorrow. And I'm still not going to, like, nothing can win. I'm going to have 200 kids tomorrow. Like nothing's good enough for anybody.
Yeah.
Comment about everything. How many kids do you have? Where do they go to school? Are you working? Are you not working? Like, did you bounce back? Did you lose the weight?
Yes.
Everything. I'm like, oh my God. So you're right. You have to have thick skin. And I learned that in radio. I remember my first day on the air, I wanted to like crawl into a hole. I was like, whoa, like you don't even know me. You don't even see me. You just hear me. Like this was wild. So you're correct about that. It's
I was going to say you have to be used to that too.
Oh, I've heard it all too. I've heard it all, literally everything. So that's why I'm kind of like, all right, it is what it is. And it can actually be funny for a second. I thought the hate comments kind of stopped for like a hot minute. And I got really concerned. I was like, oh my God, like, did I fall off? Like, did I become fucking irrelevant?
Well, that's the thing. It's like engage, like, at least in my, like, you know, with my Instagram, like, all engagement or like all comments are engagement. So whether they're positive or they're negative. Yes. The thing, unfortunately, is like a lot of videos that get a lot of hate comments blow up because they're getting a lot of engagement. So, you know, but you're like, well, I still want to be talked about.
Same. I'm like, I'm putting all this work in. Let's talk.
Yeah. Like give people something to talk about because, I mean, but a lot of it is, and then I would say number 4, and I think a lot of us content creators feel this way, and I see it talked about on social media, and I talk about it with my other content friends, is you really see people's true colors in your real life. Like the people that are actually supportive. So when I first started, it's cringe, it's weird, and people would accidentally like text me things about myself, like talking about me.
No.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then I would hear, you know, people talking about me, people telling me people were talking about me. And so that also came a point of, do I want to keep doing this? Like this, it really shows you who's supportive and who isn't. And I remember those people that were very supportive of me from the beginning. People that liked, commented, from the get-go, I will support them. Like a couple of them have started their own pages. I'm liking and commenting on every single post because I will never forget the people that were there for me and the people that just completely didn't want anything to do with it. Thought it was cringe, embarrassing, and
That's awful. I'm sorry. If those people are supposed to be your friends, your village, your support system, like that's awful. So no, I definitely love that you are a girl's girl and you're giving that love back now, especially that, you know, your page is huge and you've really grown in you're again, like not only motivating other moms, but I'm sure other people too that you probably didn't even know. It could be just a random empty nester or somebody at home.
Yeah.
And I love
They're like, I don't even have kids anymore. I just love your energy. I'm like, thanks. That's actually the nicest compliment because as a creator, you don't even really know why people are following you, right? For me, it's just my basic, boring life. So when people are asking, oh, what's working? I don't know. I'm just being myself. Like, I don't know what's resonating with people. I just share my authentic life. And so I think, I don't know if you feel the same way when it comes to your job too.
Oh, 100%. My biggest thing is, and like, I'm also like at work, I'm on a show and we are all very self-deprecating people, like for the most part. It works in our favor. It's great. But sometimes we're like, oh, you know, sometimes I'm like, do I really feel that way? But you know, I like to joke at myself. I'll like make that's why I always say to you, you cannot even hate on me because whatever you're going to say, I've already said about myself. Like I guarantee you will not get me. So like, my thing is like, I always ask, why do people care? Like, why do you care? Like, like what I'm saying right now, like, I mean, I'm so grateful you care, but I'm like, I'm lame right now. Like, why do you care? But then I think about it and it's like, no, like in radio and even I think content creation and radio are both the same. It's like, you've built this journey with your followers, your listeners. So I promise you, I'm sure you remember, people will message you like, I remember when you first got pregnant, you know, with baby. Like they'll say things and you're like, holy crap, like you've been on this ride. So like people do care and they're invested. And I love responding to people like you said and interacting with other people because I love that. I love it. It's like I'm building a connection. Like I can't see you like physically, you're not next to me, but like we're connected.
And I think that's what's been hard about like my page growing is I'm trying to keep up with the DMs and trying to still create that connection. But I don't know if like your DMs are the same. Like there's 3 different sections and sometimes the DMs get lost. Yeah. And so it's like, I'm not ignoring you. Like I'm reading, like I'm spending so much time on my DMs every week. But sometimes they just get lost and it's just like, it hurts because I don't want people to not feel connected when they reach out to me because people are taking time out of their day to DM you and they're taking time out of their day to comment. And so, but it's hard because there's only one of me and, you know, so if I could just clone myself, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
Every day. I want to clone myself all the time. I'm like, I need help right now. Because I want me to do certain things, you know, so
that's another problem of mine, yes.
Let me get out there. So speaking of that, actually, I'm always very curious. As a mom, you know, former corporate baddie working mom, but also very much still like working, putting in the work for your social, which like you said is 24/7. What tips and tricks can you share that kind of help you get by day? Like, where do you outsource if you do? What is Francesca, like when you ask for help, which I hope you are, because moms need help. I'm an advocate for that too.
Yeah.
What do you do? What does your system look like?
Yeah. So just really like when I first start out the day, I bought this like notepad. It's like $5 off Amazon. It's like my daily tasks. Of course, I have like a calendar for the month, but it's like one of the first things I do after I wake up before I hop on my treadmill or go to the gym is I write down my daily tasks. It can be as simple as drinking enough water. It doesn't have to be like amount of ounces, but if I write it down, there's more of a chance of it happening for me. So I try and jot down like maybe 5 or 6 things, the main things, right? And okay, so after that, so this was something that I struggled with was once I left my corporate job, so I had full-time childcare obviously at the time. Then I felt like, well, why do I need full-time childcare when I'm just doing content creation? Well, I burnt myself out and it wasn't fair to my kids because then I wasn't like fully present, like all throughout the day I'm trying to get all this work done. So now I have childcare, I would say like a couple days a week for a few hours, and that's just so I can fully do my work. What happens though is like early in the morning, if I'm on my treadmill, a lot of the time I'm doing a lot of content editing. So that's why I like to wake up early until like pretty much my kids are about to wake up and then it's school.
I kind of love it though, because you're like getting your steps in, but you're also getting work done. Love it. Okay.
So like that makes me feel good. Like I'm getting my movement in for the day, but I'm also editing doing everything that I need to do. And then I'm always after, like, my husband will get back from work, whatever, dinner, any free time I can get. My husband, again, it's a job. This is bringing in income. So he'll like watch the kids so I can get time to edit, do whatever. It definitely, you have to plan and you have to organize. When it comes to content, you want to ideally post, especially at the beginning, every single day, or at least 6 days a week, 5-6 days a week. That takes planning. So you really need to find what works, what's efficient for you. You and I talked about this at the beginning. It takes a lot of time to edit a reel, but it gets fast. It gets faster. And so, yeah, so that's more of like the organic content that I make, right? Like my fun stuff. But with brands, that's a whole other thing. So I work with a management company. So I had to outsource a lot of my emails, all of that. It got to a point where I couldn't, my inbox, I get a lot of questions. How did I know when it was time to work with a management company? My inbox was very busy and I was bringing in a certain amount of income from brand deals. Okay. And so I signed on with like my dream management agency. I signed with them it's almost been a year. It'll be a year in April. Yeah, thanks. And so I have a manager. She's amazing. And she helps me stay on track when it comes to brands. So I get a lot of questions on what do management companies do. They don't create content for me, nothing like that. They are the middle person between me and the brands, right? They have lawyers involved. They deal with the finance part, making sure I get paid, making sure that we're all in agreement of what the brand needs from me. And so it's like, I just feel safer having that middle person. And I always say it's a lot of back and forth. It's not like, hey, make a video for me and then it's done. It's, you have to write out a concept. What are you going to film? Then they have to approve. Then you have to put in draft. You have to submit a draft and editing. And it's a lot of back and forth. So I've outsourced having a management company. You do give a certain amount of your pay and that's okay. But I need to outsource more. I need an assistant. It's really hard for me because I like the way that I do things. And so this is my baby. This is my business. And it's really hard to...
Yeah, we got to clone ourselves.
We have to clone ourselves. And I think people don't understand how much it's running a business. Like, I have finances that I have to be in line. I pay taxes. I have a lot of like administrative stuff that needs to get done. And that... it's time consuming. And so I need an assistant. I just have to trust that I can find the right person, but it'll take some time.
Oh yeah. No, you will. You will. It'll take a minute, but the right person will come along. So for somebody who's also creating content, and let's say someone's listening who maybe like is getting a couple brand deals here and there, like they're starting to dip their toe. Can you explain why, and this is really for any content creator, why it's still important to create that organic content if it is?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. So I always say you need to be authentically you. Like people are going to resonate with you and who you are as a person. Okay. And brands want to see a certain amount of engagement, which means people liking, reposting, engaging with your content. So it's important for you to get out as much organic content as you can. Let people know who you are, what you care about. Because why would a brand want to pay you to represent them? You have to share who you are. That has to be number one. And I think that is something like a lot of people are like, well, I want to start an Instagram page or social media because I want to make money. And truly that was not on my radar at the time, and it shouldn't be at the beginning because it's going to take time. Your main priority should be, how am I going to connect with an audience? How am I going to, just connect with people? And I always say you have to be yourself, because if you are going to show up, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way at work, every single day, show up as someone that's not you, that is so exhausting and draining. So yes, it's scary to be yourself because you think, who's going to even like me? I know how that feels. But if you try to be anything else, like, it's so exhausting. That also goes into the part of people ask, like, well, how do I know what content to make? It has to be something that you'll never get sick of posting, that you can continuously think of content ideas. So like probably for you, like being a mom, being a working mom, like that was me. I love being a working mom. I love wellness. So it's an endless amount of content you can post on that. And you just show up as yourself. And another thing is people get so fixated on follower count. Even if 100 people are following you, that's amazing. Like I was so excited for 100 followers. to me, I still feel like I'm posting for 100 people because it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And then with the whole pay aspect too, I get asked a lot, how many followers do I need to start making money? I know people with less followers than me that make more money than me. And I make more money than people with a lot more followers than me. It doesn't matter. If you want to make money, you have to really build a connection with your audience.
Yeah, 100%.
So that they trust you and they trust what they're going to purchase from you, or the brands are going to trust if they're going to give you however much money that it's going to convert into sales. So it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act. And I always want to give people like an easy answer, but I don't.
No, totally. I just always felt like even if you do reach a point where you are doing brand deals, I always feel like it's still important to show, and you do a great job. That's why I wanted to ask, like, show still like the organic Francesca's, this is your day in the life, or maybe, I don't know, your toddler had a meltdown, but you still got your workout, and whatever it was that day, like you're still showing it, you know, and I think it's important.
Yeah. And I think it's like, I think people understand, I hope a lot of followers understand, there's no way I could do this for free. I'm putting in so many hours. Like there's just no, as much as I love it and I love it is so much work. It takes away from my family. Like I could not do this for free. So I think of it as like mini commercials. Like I'll throw in like a brand that I really love, but I'm still going to give you that content while you're still here. Sometimes I'm posting twice a day. There was times where I was posting 3 times just to make sure that, okay, I had this brand deal, but like, I know why you're following me. Let me give you why you're actually following me. But it takes more work, but I mean, everyone has to do what works for them. So
100%. And really quick, I'm just curious for the behind the scenes part. What do you use, or how do you film those behind the scene moments? Like, are we using like a tripod, the little sticky guy that goes on the wall? I mean, this is like really specific.
Yeah.
I'm always so curious.
Do you mean for like vlogs or for brand deals?
Like, what do you do? Like, do you have somebody follow you with a camera? Like, is that easiest? Like, what's the best
I
way?
wish.
Right? That's my dream.
So like, I love to vlog when like my kid, like no one's awake. That's why I love doing my early morning ones. So now I do like part of my morning when they're awake and sometimes my afternoon, but a tripod. All you need is a tripod.
Love it.
If you are okay with like purchasing like a little mini ring light, you can attach your phone onto the tripod, right? That's all you need. That's all I had at the beginning was a tripod. And then as you like start growing, and like I have a tripod now on every floor of my house. I have a ring light on every floor. And so it's just always
moving around ring lights and all that stuff is a pain.
No, it's too much. But you really, if you want to vlog, you learn what angles, you learn kind of like where I should put the camera. Sometimes you accidentally don't press record, you know, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Yeah. It's time consuming. Vlogging's very time consuming, but I love it. I think it's a great way to connect with your audience. When it comes to brand deals and stuff, I have like a bigger ring light. It's kind of like more of a production, right? Because people forget brands have criteria that they want. So you got to give it your best.
Yes, you do. You do. So very true. I love it. Well, thank you for dropping all these gems. I appreciate you coming on. No, I mean, this was so great. And again, like mental health, wellness, prioritize yourselves, moms. And if you're thinking about content creation, like it is a full-time job. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Yes, it is fun. Oh my God. No, I love this. Thank you for coming on today. My last and final question for you is, finish a sentence for me. And I think you're the perfect person to ask this, okay? A good mom is, finish the sentence.
One that takes care of herself.
I love it. I love it. That was perfect. Francesca, where can we follow you on the gram, or if anybody wants to like DM you, keep up with you, where can we do that?
Yeah. Francesca's Nest. Francesca's Nest on Instagram. I'm mostly active. I'm also on TikTok. So yeah, follow along.
Beautiful. Francesca, thank you so much for coming on. We definitely want to have you back. So you're the best.
Anytime. I would love that.
So thank you.